Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you've read the title, in today's video I'm going to pour out my heart and share my opinion on this very heated topic right now because of the elections. And as you may know that 2025 federal elections is just approaching and there's so much discussion happening around immigration rate and how the immigration is impacting the Australian communities. So I thought let's just try bringing in a fresh perspective to the topic. And in this video, I want to explore this topic from a perspective which is often overlooked or neglected, and that is of an international student. So I think what I'm going to cover here is probably a lot of international students would agree to it or relate to that. And before I jump into talking about how I feel about this whole situation, I want to um, show you some stats which I've come across. So have a read of that and give you an idea of what narrative is going around because of the election. So let's continue. All right. So, talking about my perspective on this, and also it makes sense for me to talk about this situation because I work in communities and I am a community service worker, community service trainer. So, from being an international student to a community trainer to a volunteer citizen advocate to a renter over the past 10 years, I now wonder if I have taken more than what I have given back to the community. It makes me question, like, have I added any sort of value back to the Australian community, or I just ended up utilizing their resources? So I'm really trying to put myself in the shoes of today's international students, and I can't emphasize more, but knowing that how they are contributing not only through the tuition fees but also by paying their rents and working in essential industries and participating in research and adding to the culture and economic fabric of the country. So I'm just thinking, if I can have this thought after 10 years, how are we making those international students, how are we making them feel if they've just recently migrated and they're away from the family and they, there's a cultural change, there's everything changes, and then you're trying to, the same people like you and I who are trying to navigate their lives, finding opportunities for their growth. Is placing blame on the international students about the housing crisis is fair? Is that really helping us building and growing our communities? And I do agree that there is housing crisis, and it's important to recognize that housing affordability is a serious issue. But we also need to ask, if international students were to leave today, would housing suddenly become affordable? Because research and long-term data suggest otherwise, and housing affordability has been declining over decades and well before the return of the international students in large numbers. And I think there are several, there's not just one factor, but there's several factors that lead to this crisis, and could be long-term underinvestment or poor planning or other shortfalls or market speculation, and these all play a different role in the crisis situation. So this is not a one simple issue. This is a complex, and it's a multi-layered, and pointing out the finger at one group can actually prevent us from addressing the root cause effectively. And at the same time, by setting such narratives, we're bringing the morale of these students down. And I teach international students. These students are so good. They just have the very right attitude to do good in life, to learn, to grow, to make use of the opportunities. And I know that how hard these students work. I know how they are making the most of the resources they have, and then at the same time utilizing these resources, giving back to the communities. So I wouldn't agree that they are in any sort of way liability. I believe that they are an asset to the country. I was recently reading an article by Professor Girish Singh Rampal Singh Shekhwal. I think you must read his article, because I agree to every word that he's written. It's titled "International Students: A Lifeline, Not a Liability." I found his perspective very compelling, and his message is very clear that if you want to build stronger, more inclusive communities, we need to work together. We are not here in competition. And when I say we need to work together, that means we need to start with understanding each other's contributions, and at the same time challenges as well, because no one situation has only benefits, or no one situation has only negatives. So we need to understand this every. Okay, so I was just editing my video so that I can post it, and my sister has some input as well for this, and she doesn't want to come in my video, but I thought it'd be good to record what she has to say about that too.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I just wanted to put forward government's point of view on this as well. I think what they are saying is that the demand has been up or has increased because obviously because of overseas students going to states like Perth. So now when the demand is up, and the whole focus of the government is on blaming why the demand has been up, and they're saying that it's because of students, right? Overseas students, to be specific. I think the focus here for government should be on increasing the supply, because they are failing in their processes that are not very simplified. Let's start with council. The builders are out of work because the council doesn't give approvals. So there has been a lot of issues due to which the supply hasn't been able to be like to that level that we can match the demand. And I think that's something. So instead of focusing on their own issues in the country that are the main issues, basically, it's easier for them to just put the whole blame outside and say, hey, all
I would
students are to be blamed.
I would say let's
So
not do the blame game again, and
it's
it
not
goes
a
for
blame
us.
game. I think it's just for an economy, it's just the demand and supply. So I'm saying I understand, and I agree that demand has been up because of overseas students, let's say, but that it's not their problem.
Yeah,
Right?
I think the right way
I-
to put it is put it as that they are not the only source of problem. They are not the root cause for housing crisis. So it's not fair to say that there's housing situation happening because of international students coming here. There could be different factors which are worth considering as well. So I will wrap it up here, and this video actually is going to be my first video. I'm sitting like that, and it makes me feel like I'm talking to another person in front of me, as if I'm talking to my students or someone else, like my friends or someone. But I did enjoy putting forth my point on this issue, and knowing that this is something which influences a lot of people, brings it. It takes a toll on your confidence and your morale, and you're already away from your family, and you shouldn't be hearing people commenting about you adding not enough value, or because you are the reason housing crisis is happening, or you're the reason why rent prices are high. Not a good feeling. Yeah, if you found this video I don't know, given you some sort of introspection, or made you feel the way how I feel about the situation, or you have a friend who's an international student, or who's maybe finding it hard to keep up the morale and confidence, please do share my video, and do give it a thumbs up if you like, and subscribe to my channel if you want to watch more such content. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Please take care.